This is a short audio recording explaining how certain techniques are used to create in a target the myth of mental illness. The gangstalking team mock up situations and scenarios that are known to occur in certain types of delusionary mental illness. I'll explain how this works. A typical paranoid schizophrenic reports hearing voices abusing them, so the gangstalking team will recreate this synthetically by having real people stand near the target's home but unseen, and having the gangstalking team say a word or phrase that only has significance to the target. This could be the target's nickname when they was at school, or some other personal phrase or piece of information. Neuro-linguistic programming is abused in this way by firstly having the gangstalking team repeat the same word or phrase over and over and over while close to the target. This could be once every 10 or 15 minutes for weeks or days or months, until the target complains or shows other signs of sensitisation. Then, when the target is sensitised to this word or phrase, the gangstalkers will move some way off, further out of sight. But due to the sensitisation of this word or phrase by the target, it can be recognised by the target from quite some distance. It is akin to having your name shouted across a very busy, noisy city street. Everyone will hear it, but it will only have significance to you. The gangstalkers stand out of sight while they're doing these things for two reasons. One, obviously, so they can't be identified. Two, because if you can see them, you're not hearing voices, are you? The gangstalkers knowingly commit this illegal harassment, and they use children. Often they will ask innocent children. They will bribe the children, or they will make a little game out of it. The children do not know they are doing anything wrong. So children are often utilised in harassment, again to create the myth of mental illness in the target. Rumour mongering is achieved in a similar way by the gangstalkers. The gangstalking team will again stand some way off from the target's residence or place they frequent and shout abuse. Common accusations directed at a target in this way are paedophile, prostitute, the target is mentally ill or dangerous, or the target has committed some horrendous, horrific crime. They will do this some way off the gangstalking team from the target's residence or place the target frequents, and they will fake indignation while they're doing this and attract the attention of residents in the vicinity or passers-by. The gangstalking team, have pictures on their phones of the target and draw attention to the fact where the target lives. They will use misinformation. They will mix fact with fiction, claiming they know you. They will mention, perhaps the gangstalking team will mention where the target used to live, or a person the target had a previous relationship with, or a place the target used to work. All these things will be true. They will mix the true with the untrue, such as you used to work at a certain place, you committed an horrific crime there, you had a relationship with somebody. You did indeed. This person, therefore, they have this information from this person who used to know you, used to live in a certain place. They know you used to live in this certain place, therefore this incident or these accusations are levying at you occurred in this place where you indeed used to live. So they will mix the true with the false. And gangstalkers have obtained a picture of you and also fake documents. It's not uncommon for them to mock up fake documents or fake newspaper reports or other fake reports, but they look official, and they will show these to generate more community dislike of the target. It doesn't take the target long to realise that lies have been spread about them. The gangstalking team tell lies about you, and they also use the technique of warning people never to approach you as you're violent or mentally ill, or that this information they're giving out is secret. This is obviously to protect them and their lies. It's obviously to protect the gangstalkers and their lies. At the same time, a community warning may be sent out to civil services and public bodies, including schools and nurseries. No proof or jury is required. No crime has to be committed. Just someone's report who has the right contacts and power. It doesn't take the target long to work out that these events started after a confrontation with some authority or individual. It is the authority or individual that is utilising this network to harass you. It is a crime syndicate, a mercy group, or a secret society like the Masons. The gangstalkers often don't even know you. They're just part of the network that acts without asking questions because of loyalty to their syndicate. One of the techniques used by the gangstalkers is directed conversation. As the target's communications are bugged, their home may be bugged also. The gangstalkers utilise the technique of feeding back to the target in a bar or a public place previously disclosed information that the target has discussed in the privacy of their own home or over the phone to a friend or in a friend's home. This feeding back of information is done by the gangstalking team to create paranoia. An example of this would be the target has a conversation about a horse race that occurred some time ago. They may talk about the horses and jockeys involved. This isn't in the public news at the moment, so it wouldn't be general conversation by anybody. They go into a bar or a restaurant. People sit close by them, the gangstalking team, and they have a conversation which virtually mirrors the conversation the target had, using the same names and times discussed. Again, this feeding back a private conversation is to create paranoia in the target. Remember, the target isn't mentally ill, but a major technique of the gangstalking is they want to create the myth of mental illness in the target. So the target is continually faced with a great many synthetic events and situations that are very carefully manufactured to mimic events of what a paranoid complains of. Other techniques used by the gangstalking team include damage to property, vandalism of property, placing of rubbish in the target's garden or around the target's home, phone calls being made to the target and then the line being dead very frequently, phone calls being made to the target, things being mentioned, official sounding people on the other end of the phone, the number is withheld, they won't give any information, pets being poisoned or murdered, mine was, and again you have the bugging of the invasion of privacy, gaslighting. This may occur in your home or in your garden. Gaslighting is moving objects in places where you haven't put them. You move them back, they get moved again. This is all to attempt to create either real mental illness, or to create the myth of mental illness in the target. There are other techniques that are used. It's obvious to the target that the way these events are designed, that when they are reiterated to a third party by the target, they will sound so bizarre, so unusual and odd, that the assumption would be this person can't possibly be experiencing all these things. This person isn't well. The bizarreness, the frequency of the events and situations that the target is faced with, they've all been manufactured intentionally to appear bizarre, to give the impression that the target is mentally ill. They're very carefully orchestrated. Other techniques used could be being followed on foot, quite obviously. Cars parking outside the target's home, flashing the headlights on and off and driving off. This happening while the target's out and about, even in the most rural, unusual places. This is all done, again, to let the target know they are being watched and followed, and either create real mental illness in the target, to get them worrying about these things, to get their attention directed outwardly all the time, yeah? Or, so when the target complains about these things, they appear irrational and bizarre, the things they're saying, you know? Yes, of course, these things do happen in real life. Cars do pull up, flash the headlights outside your house. Occasionally, rubbish may get put in your garden. Occasionally, a conversation may occur at a table next to yours in a restaurant, which mirrors a conversation you've had in private. People will shout nicknames and things, but the frequency which these events occur in makes the whole scenario extremely unlikely. Therefore, if you take very good evidence, remember the authorities don't want to pursue this type of thing. It's difficult to prove. It's designed to be difficult to prove. You have to have very good evidence. Any CCTV or recordings must be a good quality. And the dates and times in your diary, it's one technique is to have a recorder on your person all the time and have it just recording. Get used to it. Have it all the time. If something occurs, you keep that recording. If after an hour nothing recurs, you delete it. Put it to the back of your mind, you know, just get on with your life. But gather evidence, but don't give too much attention to it. The same with CCTV. Anybody that doubts a person's phone could be bugged without a person coming into contact physically with that phone just needs to go online. There's plenty of spyware available. where you can bug a person's phone remotely. You only need the person's number. You don't even need to touch that phone. It's all done by satellite and computer software. You can do the same with a computer. Again, this is all done to create paranoia, or the appearance of paranoia, should I say. It won't create paranoia because because I've told you, you will know what is actually being done. So they're hoping, presumably, to create the myth of paranoia. Okay, there's a lot more I could say about this, but this is, like I said, it's a short recording. I haven't found a way to stop the gangstalking and all the other things that come with it, but I have some solutions of how to deal with it and even reverse the neuro-linguistic programming using anchoring. There's a lot of techniques on the internet about that, and there's a lot of ways you can actually have fun with this. All that's in another recording. I hope this recording was interesting and helpful to you. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.